Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John and I have a new album review. The band is called The Lion's Daughter. The album is called Skin Show. So before I begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings and more, and I upload about one video per day. So this band is new to me. I found it through a couple of the other metal channels who did reviews of it, and I gave it a listen, and it was very unique and very original, and for that reason I wanted to talk about it. It's just, I've never heard anything like it before. But let me talk about the band. They're from St. Louis, Missouri. They're fairly new. They started out in 2007, and their music is described as progressive / blackened sludge metal. But they do have this very unique sound because they use this synth sounds that are very reminiscent of old horror movies, and they're mixed in with these other metal subgenres, and it just has this unique sound. You gotta like check them out on YouTube or Bandcamp because they're just very unique, and it's a band that is really hard to describe in words. So the band has 4 albums. The first one came out in 2012, and it's called Shame on Us All. After that, in 2016, they released Existence is Horror. In 2018, they released Future Cult. And in 2021, they released Skin Show, the one that I'm going to talk about. I really like the cover of this. It's just very creepy and scary. It's just all white. And it just reminds me of like the cover of like a typical season of American Horror Story. I'm pretty sure like that series can really use this music. You know, I'm going to talk about them in a minute. Yeah. The album starts off with a song called Become the Night. And I already feel like I'm in an 80s sequel to Friday the 13th or something like that. You just hear that like synth sound, and it just makes you feel like you're in a horror movie, but you do hear some of the distorted guitars come in, and there's, you know, some tempo changes. It's slow at first, it gets fast later throughout the song. The riffs are really heavy. You hear the bass really clearly. I mean, the vocals are very aggressive, very reminiscent of death metal vocals. And the synth, it just comes in and out of the song, and it just keeps you really intrigued. The next song is called Curtains, and the song is very haunting and atmospheric at first. But when the band kicks in, it just reminds me a little bit of like a thrash metal riff. The vocals are still very aggressive. There's some really good lead guitar work. The keyboard synth is a little more subdued on this one. But there's some awesome like blast beats throughout the song. And there's some cool like 80s horror synth like more towards the end of the song. The third song is called Neon Teeth. And the synth in the intro sounds really awesome. They changed it up a little bit with the vocals. It's a little more of a singing style, but it still sounds very aggressive, and it's still that like retro sound. I really like the guitar solo on this one. It was like very melodic. Some really good tempo changes and a lot of like spooky keyboard sounds. The next one is called Dead in Dreams, and the title alone just evokes the image of Freddy Krueger. And that's just what this song seems like. The bass sound is like really thick. I really like the riff in the middle of the song. There's so many like different sounds going on. You just need to like really listen to the song and pay attention to what's going on. There's really a lot going on. The song after that is called Werewolf Hospital. This one is very fast. It's heavy. It's aggressive, reminiscent of modern death metal. I mean, this song relies more on this heaviness and less on that like synth. But it's really amazing. Some really great progressive metal riffing, some amazing blast beats, and this one I like a lot. The song after this is called Sex Trap, and this one is more heavily relying on that synth sound, you know, as opposed to the last song. It's a little slower, very atmospheric. The vocals are still very aggressive. The tempos change, and you know, it gets faster as it moves along. And I really like the drum sound in this. They have like a, I guess it's called, they like hitting the hi-hat on this one. That really stands out for me. After that is a song called Snake Face, and this sounds like some kind of character from a horror movie. and they really dial up the 80s horror like sounds on this one. This one moves at a moderate pace, you know, it gets a little slow, it's atmospheric, really cool breakdown, comes in around like 2.5 minutes, but it just slows down to a crawl, then it picks back up, and this is just another awesome song. The next one is called All Hell Is Mine, and this one has a very unique sound. You know, there's the synth, but it moves a little faster. The lead guitar plays like these sustained notes that are just kind of like stay in your head. You know, as the song progresses, it kind of gets a little faster. It has a little bit of maybe an industrial metal feel on this one, but after 2 minutes there's a breakdown, everything gets quiet, you hear some more synth, and it just creates this really eerie environment. After that is the title track, and it's just very creepy. Just slow building keyboards, it really sets the mood. The bass sounds, really great drum sounds, and this is just a song that just builds slowly, creates a lot of suspense. The song moves at, you know, a mid-tempo. The drums sound really great, and they use these like sound effects, and it really adds to like the eeriness of the song. The last song on the album is called The Chemist, and this is the longest song. The other songs are maybe between 3 and 4 minutes. The album as a whole is only about 42 minutes. But the song starts off with some creepy retro synth horror, fairly slow, very atmospheric. There's some like whispering vocals in the middle that just makes it a little more scarier. The song just takes off, it gets really fast, it gets heavy, there's some blast beats, and it just goes into like full death metal mode. Just for a couple minutes, it slows back down, and then it just gets really atmospheric, and it just brings you to the end of the album. And it kind of like, at this point, it feels like you're at the end of the movie. I mean, that's kind of how I describe this album. I liked it a lot, and that's why I'm reviewing it. If you like horror movies, if you like death metal, black metal, heavy music, aggressive vocals, and all of that like mixed up, you might like it. I mean, maybe there might be some people who don't like this, you know. It's a little strange, it's a little out there, but I can't really describe it. It's maybe something like Typo Negative playing death metal and black metal or something like that. I mean, it's hard to like name other bands because there are no other bands that sound like this band. As a final score, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It kept me interested all the way through, and I suggest you look up this band. Look them up on YouTube or Bandcamp or their social media. Listen to just one song and let me know what you think. So thanks for watching. Please comment below if you've heard this album. What do you think? And that is it. I will be working on a Scorpions ranking, which is very long. They have about 20 albums, so it may or may not be out tomorrow night, depending if I could finish it. I'm thinking it might take me just a long time just to plan it all out. So I might or might not get it out tomorrow, but if I do, cool. But please check the in-video links, and I'll see you in the next one.